Good morning. I'm drinking a tea. This is going to be a really chatty heart-to-heart video. This is my little mug that my mum got me when I got Duke. Look at him, he was so small. It's been maybe like almost a year since I've done a proper sit-down Q&A, so I thought now would be a good time to have a heart-to-heart beginning of the year, me and you kind of vibes. I asked on Instagram what questions people had, and so many good ones came up that I thought it was really time to open up and share with you some different things that you might not know or see in the vlogs that I do kind of day to day. So the first question is, how are you and how is the house renovation going? I've never really started with a how are you question because I feel like that is kind of a much deeper question than people probably mean it to be. In all honesty, right now I'm not very settled. I don't want to be negative, but I don't feel very calm day to day. I feel like I'm spinning a lot of plates, and at any given moment I could just snap. I don't know if anyone else felt like this when they were doing a house renovation, but juggling house stuff along with everything else is quite a much bigger challenge than I ever thought it would be. I'm living somewhere now where it isn't really my home. I have boxes in that corner. A lot of my stuff is in boxes because I thought I wouldn't be here for this long already. I thought I'd already be in my house, and I keep thinking, well, I'm about to move in, so I'm not gonna unpack all these boxes. I'm about to move in, and I've been thinking that for like 2 months. And I kind of just wait every day for me to be able to, one closer day for me to be able to move into my house and be settled and feel settled. I feel like every day something else new comes up or gets delayed or something happens, which I know is totally normal in a house renovation, but the more it happens, the more I want to move in, the more I don't feel settled. So I do feel a bit unstable at the moment, let's like call it that. I feel like I'm waiting for something to happen that I've been waiting for so long, and I'm raring to go. I'm raring for that next step, and until that next step happens, I'm not gonna feel that balanced. And I say that and I'm like, Amelia, come on, get with the program. Balance comes from within, but this just feels so out of my control that I'm struggling to do it. How is the house renovation going? This was the second part of the question, so I guess that kind of answers your question. It's going well. I should definitely have been in by now. 2 of my friends actually that bought houses later than me and started their renovations later than me will probably be in around the same time. If not, they might be in before me, and we're doing the same stuff. I just seem to have, I don't want to say it, but I think a few things have happened that weren't supposed to happen, and it made the process longer, and delays have happened that weren't really supposed to happen. So it's not the end of the world, it's really not even a big deal, but the house renovation is hopefully coming together in the next month. Hopefully the next month is going to be absolutely crucial, and Sagal, who's my project manager, was like, the next month is crucial and the next month is Mercury retrograde. And I don't know if you believe in that, but that is not good news. I was like, I get a lot of questions like this. Ever been any romantic interest between you and Guy? I'm really lucky. I have such amazing guy friends. I feel like I got close to my male friends, and I probably have like 3 or 4 really close male friends when I started this job, actually, because I felt like almost a bit evil eye about it, in that I did end up having to cull a few girlfriends that weren't particularly supportive or happy for me, or maybe I kind of felt a bit uneasy about them with my work. And at the time when blogging and Instagramming was getting big, it was such an unknown thing, and people were quite envious of it. It wasn't very known to have this kind of a job, and now people are much more aware of it. So I did get really close to my guy friends because I felt maybe like that envy wasn't really there, or that competitiveness wasn't there, because they were doing totally different things to me and they didn't care about makeup or clothes or anything like that. And I feel like that was one element of how I had such close guy friends. I'm so lucky because they really are like my knight in shining armors. I think if I was thinking of something that I'm most proud of, it would be my friendships. I really don't feel like I'm missing anything in my friendship life. I have everything I need. I love my friends so much, and they're really like my family to me. What are you most excited about for the new house? So many things. I am so excited to have everything in one place. My shoes, my bags, my shroom, everything on lock. I'm excited to be able to have a gorgeous little outdoor space that I can host in the summer. That'll be amazing. I am excited for surround sound. I have gone into detail with this AV situation, and I now don't have like a little sort of like speaker that I carry around the house with me. It's gonna be on my phone, it's gonna be in the ceiling, it's gonna be high tech. Oh, I'm excited for underfloor heating. That's gonna be snazzy too. Oh my gosh, and aircon. I'm excited. How would you describe your content in 2022? This is really interesting because I feel like my content changes so much. I don't even like the word content. I feel like it's almost like corporate, but let's, for the sake of this, call it content. I feel like it's changed a lot, and right now I'm fully just posting what I want to post and what I feel like I enjoy. Like, I love getting ready and filming my outfits, so that's what I'm doing. I love doing sexy slow-mo walking shots, so that's what I'm doing, or pictures that look slightly more glossy that have less engagement, but I really like them. So that's how I would describe my content at the moment. I don't know how much you guys enjoy seeing vlogs, if you still want vlogs or if you prefer more like sit down chatty videos. That's what I'm really curious about, where YouTube's gonna go in 2022, because I feel like with TikTok on the rise, everyone's used to watching much shorter things. So is there still a space for YouTube? I hope so. I don't know, because the videos are longer. And then I posted a 10-minute video last week and loads of people were like, why is this only 10 minutes? You only post a 10-minute video, and I'm like, okay, so maybe people don't want shorter videos? What is dating like? I'm turning 30 and I'm single and feeling down. I had a lot of questions about dating life. The one right below it is, any interesting guys approaching? And I haven't actually said this online before. Let me just cross my legs so we can really get into the dirty here. You guys may or may not remember that I did a podcast when my engagement ended called What I Know Now. In that podcast, I spoke to one of my friends, Anushka, who runs the Goddess Space, and she said after one of her relationships ended, she did a year of being single, no dating, nothing. That kind of resonated with me, and I thought about it, and it kind of just stuck in the back of my mind. It stuck in the back of my mind, and I was still dating at this point, but it just was still there. It was like a humming in the back of my mind. It was like, maybe Amelia, maybe you should do that, maybe you should do that. She did it quite strict, and I know a few of my friends have actually done this year of being single, no dating, have done it quite strict in terms of like actually no dating, no kissing a guy, like nothing. And I thought to myself earlier last year, which was 2021, I have to think about that for a second, maybe I should do that. Maybe that is, it just felt like something I almost wanted to tick off and say to myself that I've done, and I didn't want to say it until I had done it, if that makes sense. I was nowhere near doing it as strict as other people doing it. There's no really rules. It was just kind of, I want to be single for a year, and really not, the rule for me was not get into a relationship for a year, or not try and get into a relationship. So I can go on dates, I can flirt with guys, I can whatever, but I don't want to date anyone that I would want to get into a relationship with, because I don't want to be in a relationship for a year. And this felt like a good year to do it, because I was trying to buy a house, doing a house renovation, so much on my plate, moving so many freaking times, starting my brand, building my brand, all of which I'm wearing now, plug, that I can help myself, that it just felt like a good time to do it, and I'm nearing the end of that now, which is kind of cool and exciting. And I felt like I really managed to get kind of like dark and deep in that year. It's not a year yet, but it's almost a year. And being single, honestly, is something that I've never really enjoyed. I've always been a boyfriend person. I've never dated someone just to have a boyfriend or to be in a relationship. But since I was a teenager, I've just always been dating and always had boyfriends. And this almost felt like a nice break. And it was honestly really hard. It was the point of like, I was crying, being like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go and I want to date and I want a family and like blah blah. But it just felt like something I needed to do. I can't describe. It was like a power inside me. And so many of my friends would be like, okay, so just start dating again. Like, who cares? Like, whatever. You don't have to do this. You're making yourself do this. And I was like, no, I want to finish it. I want to do it. And then it got to a point of like actually enjoying it. And I was like, oh, this is cool. This is actually really cool. And now I'm like, oh shit, how can I ever be in a relationship again? I'm so used to being like sleeping alone, cooking for one. Anyway, cross that bridge when I come to it. And that was something I've never really shared online before. I just felt like it was, I don't know, maybe that's too personal to share, and I don't want to feel like anyone else has to feel like that, or do that or whatever, each to their own, do you know what I mean? But I thought this was something personal that maybe I could share with you that you might find interesting, especially if you heard Anushka on my podcast saying about her journey. I literally just read another question. It was, you're currently seeing someone but you're considering keeping it private. No, I'm not seeing anyone. This kind of ties into that, and it's, do you want to become a mother one day? Yes, I do. I'm actually going today to get my fertility levels tested. One of my friends did it the other day and she was like, you know what, you should just do it. Like, why not just go and see what's up, and maybe it'll just give you a bit of peace of mind. And I thought, you know what, I need to go to the gynecologist anyway, I might as well just do that at the same time. So I'm going to do that today just to see. Another one of my friends is freezing her eggs. She's a couple years older than me, and I'm kind of excited to go through it with her and see what actually happens, because I've never really looked into it. So many people, even my cousins who are 10, 15 years older than me, say that that really like helped them feel secure and almost like, I think one of my friends described it as like taking insurance. So if anyone's done it or done anything like that, let me know. If you're comfortable sharing your experiences, I'm curious to hear it. We want to hear more about your dating journey because we look up to and learn from you. That's really sweet. So I hope that answers your question about what I'm doing at the moment in terms of my dating life. And maybe if anyone's been ever curious to do something like that, I don't know. I'm not doing it how a couple of my friends have done this year of being single. Loads of my friends just like got off dating apps, didn't speak to men basically at all for a year, didn't look in a man's direction. I'm not doing it like that. I'm doing it my way, which is, I still look on dating apps. I'm still like, let me see. I'll go on like an occasional date with someone that I think, oh, this will be fun, but that's about it. What to consider when dating someone who has been engaged or married before? This is a really good question. I think marriage is quite different to being engaged, and especially if there are little people involved, like kids. I sound like Shelley now. She always calls kids little people. She always says little people involved. I think similarly, if someone's been in a really long-term relationship, they might have certain things that they've realized are non-negotiable for them, or in any kind of relationship breakdown really. I know myself now, after being engaged, I have non-negotiables that I'm just not willing to compromise on. And I think some people who have seen relationships, big relationships break down, like a marriage or engagement or a long-term relationship, know what didn't work for them so much more, and what they're not going to tolerate in the future. So I think that is something to consider, because it can, and it did make me quite stern, I guess is the right word, or like strict on what I was looking for and what I absolutely would not go for again. Oh my god, this is so funny. You've changed since you started YouTube. I feel like it used to be more jokes and now you're more serious, which is so funny because I was just thinking in my head, god, I'm being really serious in this video. I feel like when I'm trying to talk, I'm trying to be serious, and then in real life I just don't take anything seriously ever. But I feel like it would be a really annoying video if I answered every question as a joke. Gosh, I think since starting YouTube, definitely, and this is a really, really weird one, but I've definitely become much more critical of myself because I see myself so much all the time, and it's not something that I love doing at all by any means. And I was saying this to a friend actually last night, and they were like, if you didn't see yourself all day, would this bother you? And I said no, because I'd see myself in the mirror once a day when I was brushing my hair, or like once a week when I take a picture. But I see myself all day, every day, so I'm so critical of myself, which is horrible. It's actually horrible to be critical of yourself. It's not nice at all. And even though I can put it to one side and still get on with the day, it's still there when I see a picture or see a video of myself. Some things that no one would ever notice, and that's probably the one thing that I feel like has changed the most about me. And I do think about people that don't look at themselves all day for their job and think, god, you must think way nicer things about yourself, that must be nice. And then on the flip side, I'm like, oh, but I wouldn't change what's happened for anything. So it is what it is. If you could have 3 houses in 3 places, where would you choose? London, the countryside, probably the New Forest, and the south of France. Ooh, that was good. That was good. I'm happy with those. That just made me excited, like, thinking about it. Who was the first person you watched on YouTube that inspired your own career? Actually, the first person I ever watched was Huda Katan, that now has this huge empire of Huda Beauty. So that has been really cool. Like, I watched her, she started her blog the same time as the girl I went to camp with called Tala, and they did these collaboration videos. So I didn't follow any bloggers except Tala, who was my friend. So I followed her, and then I found Huda through her, and oh my gosh, I was obsessed. Huda did these like nose contouring videos and how to make your lips look bigger with makeup. It was literally like her filming on a webcam and her husband like in his boxes in the background. And she's like, babe, I'm just filming, do you mind, kind of thing. I was blown away by what she could show me makeup could do to make me feel more confident, and I became obsessed with YouTubers. You are no longer falling head over heels in love since the separation. It's true. It's true. I feel like I'm so much more guarded now. And it's hard not to be. It's hard because you don't want to get hurt again. I don't want to put myself in a situation where I could feel that immense pain again. But to be in a relationship, I have to be, and that's what I wanted to do in this year, is to really kind of clear that kind of guardedness. Like, even now, you asking me that question, guzzle_A, I'm sitting like this, like my hands are in between my legs like this. Like, I personally, probably subconsciously as well, didn't want to get hurt that way again, didn't want to have my life kind of like ricocheted around again. So it does make me, one, hyper aware, two, hypercritical, because I'm like, what is going on here? And three, quite guarded and closed, and I'm not so able to let my guard down so much, which is why I was saying this to a friend the other day, which is why I'm able to go on dates with guys that I have no intention of dating or wanting to be in a relationship with for fun, because my guard is down and I'm myself, because I'm like, well, I don't want to date you, we'd never be in a relationship together, so we can just have fun and we can have a good time. It's a work in progress. The sad thing is, if one of my friends said this to me, my heart would absolutely break for them, because I would be like, no, it's fine, like that. I don't know, I just would never ever want my friend to feel like this. Actually, one of my friends called me the other day, and her husband of 10 years and her breaking up, and she was going on a spiral, thinking like, what am I gonna do? I'm never gonna date again. All the thoughts that are completely and utterly normal. And I just thought, one of my like first thoughts was like, oh no, I don't want you to be closed to the world. I want you to be open. Which is funny, because I think like that for my friends, but it's harder when it's you. It's a work in progress, as everything is. Oh my gosh, I'm getting really deep in this video. Would you get Botox? So yes, I put on my stories before that I have had Botox in my forehead. I used to have this dent because I frowned in my sleep when I woke up. I haven't had Botox now for, the last time I had it I feel like was over 8 or 9 months ago, so you can see nothing is frozen in my face. And actually having Botox in my forehead made me stop frowning in my sleep, which meant that I needed less Botox in my forehead, if that makes sense. So I don't have it that much anymore. I'm thinking about getting it again because I do keep waking up with headaches, but I don't have that sort of like locked forehead mark that I used to get. I go to Dr. Dre, which is in South Kensington. I see Dr. Benjamin. He's amazing. He has a very, very light hand, and he never goes too overboard. I like movement in my face. I don't like being frozen. People think I've had Botox now because I move my eyes. I express with my eyes and my mouth, not with my forehead that much. So that was just something, my mum's the same actually. She doesn't really like move her forehead that much. Why do you have so many clothes? Is it really necessary? No, it's not. I do think that sometimes. I think, gosh, I really have way too many things, even though I still think I have nothing to wear. But it is also part of my day-to-day life to style outfits, to show different things, to be able to get a skirt and wear it 3 different ways, for example. And I also love fashion, and I do think things come back into style. So many things that I've sold or got rid of then come back a few years later, and I'm like, oh, where is that? I really want it. So it is a bit of a hoarding tendency as well. Have you maintained a friendship with any of your exes? I have, actually. I have. I do think it's possible, you know, but I think over time, over long period, I'm talking years, people, years. I think right then and there, the urge to be friends is quite strong, and then the reality is no. But after years, Yeah, I actually think it's nice. I love all my ex-boyfriends. I love them. I think they're all great people. That's why I dated them. When one of them got married, I called his mum and she sent me pictures and she looked so gorgeous and we spoke on the phone for ages, and whenever I bump into him or his family, it's honestly so nice. So yes, I have maintained a friendship with some of my exes. I do think it's possible, but I think after time, not like a month later, you know. How is Leo your mum's dog when you told us you were getting a new dog? Because what's mine is my mum's and what's my mum's is mine. We are a family. Leo is my dog. Leo licks me the most that he licks anyone. So therefore he is my dog. And Duke thinks he's honestly my mum's dog, to be honest. People got really intense about that, but I was like, but if something's my mum, similar to her handbag collection, if something is hers, then it is mine. So when she buys a new bag, I'm like, well, this is great news for me. What? Oh, this is what I mean, guys. I just got a message from Jack saying, good luck today, hope everything goes okay, I'm sure it will. And I literally was like, what is he talking about? I was like, it's on a RAEMI launch today. I was like, I'm not moving house today. I was like, what could it be? I was like, what are you talking about? And he sends me like 10 laughing emojis and is like, the fertility test. I'm like, oh, like, see, this is what I mean. This is why I'm so grateful for my friendships, because they're so nice. My friends are so nice. I can't believe he remembered and then also sent me a message saying good luck, and I'd completely forgotten about it. That's so nice. What do you do when you don't want to feel overwhelmed by big life decisions like buying or a renovation? I did feel overwhelmed and I do, and I think reach out for support as much as you can, whoever you can. I love being asked to help and support with things. And I don't like asking people, but I sometimes need to for my own mental sanity. Like just now, Pia, which is definitely not in her job description whatsoever, went to my house because I'm filming today and went to go and double check all the door handles are going in the right place on the right doors. Bless her soul, which is definitely not what she's ever been supposed to do. But if it wasn't her, I would have probably asked my mum to go and drive over. Otherwise I wouldn't have been able to focus today, and I probably would have gone to the house later and they would have all been in the totally wrong place, and then everyone would have to redo everything. So reach out for support as much as you can, even if it's just emotional support. When I was buying a house, I remember calling Estee, sobbing in my car, just saying, I feel like I have no support and everything is crumbling around me. And she couldn't do anything. She couldn't help me physically with anything, but just saying that honestly made it better, and just crying and letting it out and being like, help me, I have no support. But then it actually gets to it and it's like everything I need to do myself, so no one else can help me do it. But just letting it out really helped. It starts a cycle of support. If you support your friends, then they'll help support you. You seem very materialistic. That's probably an assumption about me. You know what? You're not wrong. I like nice things. I like dressing up. I like doing my hair. I like doing my makeup. I like clothes. I love fashion. I love accessories more than anything. I love jewelry. I love bags. I love shoes so much. Ultimately, I feel like that isn't the crux of my being. Ultimately, when I'm happiest is when I'm in my tracksuits at the beach in Hastings with 3 Pomeranians around me. That is my ultimate happy place. And I think that actually comes from my mum. My mum had to leave her country and flee, basically become an immigrant with absolutely nothing. Couldn't take her stuff, couldn't take any of her belongings, had to literally leave overnight. And so her whole life she's lived with that baggage, and that's kind of like been passed down to us. And whenever we would get something when we were younger, or want something, or be like be sad if something was lost or stolen, my mum would just be like, stuff is stuff, stuff is stuff. And I just have her voice in my head being like, stuff is stuff. Like, that's how she says it in my head. She's like, stuff is stuff, right, memes? And she'd be upset. I remember once her bag got stolen at her car, and she had this card that I wrote her like when I was younger, saying like, I'll always love you, or something. I can't remember, it was something emotional, and she was crying about this card. There's sentimental stuff and there's stuff, but ultimately stuff is stuff. That's what she goes, stuff is stuff. Material items are material items. They're not going to change how you feel inside in any major way. Health, happiness, people around, that's the most important. Going back onto the mum thing, and I feel like the lesson she taught us was stuff comes and goes, and this is all very nice, but it's not ultimately what's important. It's just like an accessory to your being, like a handbag is an accessory. So many people are asking about the podcast. I have got so close to doing another season to the point where I planned out all the episodes, and then I thought, is that really in theme with what I started the podcast about? I wanted to kind of do, and let me just air this with you while we're here airing things, I wanted to kind of do literally sit down chats with my family and my friends about specific topics. If that was like speaking to Pia about our role and how she started working with me and how that's evolved, or if that was speaking to my mum about what it was like raising 2 girls, or her life, or seeing so many boyfriends come in and out of our lives. So I just wanted to know, really, which I've never actually asked you guys. I kind of planned these episodes and then decided for you if that would be interesting for you or not. So I guess I want to know if you want it back and if that would be something that would be interesting, because I feel like I covered relationship breakdowns, I covered dating life again, and then after that I wasn't really sure where to take it. So let me know. Is your passion for YouTube the same now as it was before? It's such a good question. This kind of question came up quite a bit. Right now I'm loving vlogging the house. I'm loving documenting it. I watch my old vlogs all the time, and I'm excited to be living in this house for hopefully like 5 years, and then I can go back and watch the renovation vlogs. In terms of uploads, I'm uploading once a week on Wednesdays now. So I started 2 weeks ago for 2022. I took a break, which I always do every single year over Christmas and New Year, and last year, what did I do? I did Vlogmas, I did Vlogtober instead of Vlogmas, because I felt like Vlogmas the year before was really oversaturated and everyone was doing the same thing, and I just had a lot more exciting stuff going on in October, so I decided to do Vlogtober. I think I'm going to do that again this year. I think I'm going to do Vlogtober instead of Vlogmas. I also feel like by the end of the year I'm so much more burnt out that I much prefer doing Vlogtober than Vlogmas. I don't think I could do more right now in terms of doing everything with RAEMI as well. So I don't know if 1 video a week counts as a lot or not to you guys anymore. I feel like that, I don't know, is that kind of standard? And I think I'm going to try and switch it up more between vlogs and a sit down video, because I felt like I vlogged so much during the pandemic. At one point I was doing 3 vlogs a week. This is really where I guess I take your lead on this now, which I don't know, shouldn't I? I don't know anything anymore. Oh god. That's ideally what I want to do, is 1 video a week and mix it up between vlogs and sit down chatty videos like this. I like this question a lot. What are the milestones throughout your life where you thought, now I've made it? So starting RAEMI, I feel like just getting RAEMI off the ground, I felt like, oh my gosh, whatever happens now, I did this. Like I did this. I created a brand and I brought it to market, and that's enough for me. Do you know what I mean? Like I was like, okay, I actually did that. That is it. Honestly, this summer was the funnest summer ever, and I felt so happy with my personal life, my friendship group, my family life. I didn't have a particular moment, but I think when I came back I was like, okay, I've made, like, I'm happy with my life. I'm happy with my friendship group, with my friends, with who I am as a person, and I just felt very like confident and secure in myself. Wow, those both happened in the past like year. oh my gosh. Well, this was a weird one. I bumped into someone wearing full RAEMI, like literally all the earrings, rings, and bumped into, she didn't plan on meeting me that day, and that was wild. That was totally wild for me, seeing someone actually on the street wearing my jewelry just day to day, not because they thought, oh, I'm seeing Amelia, let me make her feel good and wear her jewelry. That was huge. Another one that isn't actually recent, I was trying to think of a non-recent one. My friend, who I've always admired, that is now the head of school in the UK, who actually taught me, asked me to come and speak at her school about blogging and YouTubing and whatever, and I was like, this is the weirdest experience of my whole life. Firstly, what is life? And secondly, this is wild. And thirdly, oh my gosh, being asked to speak at a school. I was terrible at school. I literally was the worst student ever. Every teacher thought I was gonna fail everything, apart from this one teacher that asked me to come back. And also, like, I was probably the least likely person of my whole year to come and speak at a careers thing at a school. I didn't feel like I'd made it. I just felt like things had really come full circle and the world was playing tricks on me. Would you ever do do a meet and greet. So RAEMI is doing a pop-up in London on the 7th of February, and that is really, really exciting because I feel like jewelry is something people want to feel and try on their ring size. So maybe I'll meet people there. I'm kind of hoping I do. And if you are in London on the 7th of February, maybe pop RAEMI a DM and ask for the address so that you can come. That is going to be it for today. I've been filming for a really long time. I'm not sure how long this video is going to be. Hopefully people won't kick off because it's around 10 minutes. I feel like it will be way longer than that. I feel like we're talking for way longer than 10 minutes. I'm going to go now. I will see you over on Instagram and I will see you back on YouTube next Wednesday. Mwah. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye!